The Justice and Peace Commission of the Catholic Bishops' Conference undertook a field trip to Khaula community in Guyana. The main aim of the field trip was to expose people to a biogas project which is currently being run by Mfuneko Community Support. The project is a biogas project. People in the community build their own digesters, and the digesters are then used for cooking, heating, and other uses in the household. We found it necessary, and we thought it would be good to expose people from the communities that we work in the Eastern Cape, in Umzimkhulu, parts of Mpumalanga, and KwaZulu-Natal. The main aim was to expose them to the project so that they could replicate the project in their own areas, in the hope that by the end of the year we would have what we would call renewable energy villages. The people selected for this field trip are people who come from areas that have serious energy challenges, people who come from areas which are not yet electrified, meaning they're not part of the grid. So we hope we can get these people access to cheap energy that they have full control of, and they wouldn't have to pay monthly charges or weekly charges or daily charges for it. We hope that you could watch this video and learn from it, and we hope that you could try and implement such projects in your own locations or in your own home. Thank you so much. Enjoy the video.
And that appeared to be very difficult because I didn't have what they called relevant work experience. And through a contact of my father in Pretoria, I knew somebody from the University of Pretoria, and they were doing an ecological restoration project in this community, and they were planting trees because many people here cook on fuel wood, and that makes that deforestation is a problem in this area. And so the government financed the project, employed local people, built a nursery to grow indigenous trees, which are then transplanted from the nursery into what they called restoration areas. And that professor was also involved in a research project, which was about sustainable tourism. We are here about 5 kilometers from Kruger National Park. If you want to visit it, you need to drive 1.5 hours, but the fence is 5 kilometers from here. And the idea was that we make the fence of Kruger, that we relocate it a bit more land inward, so that the chief of this village and surrounding villages has land inside Kruger National Park. And then he can build their lodges, which are then on his own land, but inside the park. And it was thought that that would help to economic development and help the local people here to earn a living, and at the same time expand the park, which contributes to environmental protection. And so that was thought about to be a win-win situation for the environment and for the people. Maybe you are aware of a television program called 50-50. And they also based on the philosophy 50-50 nature and human beings. And that's also what we try to do. We are a non-profit company, and we employ mostly young local people, and we try to teach them about how business is being run, and about environmental issues. And at the same time, we're trying to implement biogas technology. We construct biogas digesters. We're at the moment a bit too much to my liking, almost like a construction company. And this year we're going to build 55 biogas digesters here in Gahula. 30 in another village, 30 in another village, 30 in another village. So at the end of the year we should have more than 100 households connected to biogas. I think I don't need to say much more about Financial community support at the moment. And I think it can be good if we go straight to a biogas digester, if that's okay with you, so that we know where we're talking about. And if you fill that every day with 1 bucket of powder and 1 bucket of water and you mix it, then you pour 2 buckets of mixture into the biogas digester, then it produces about 1 cubic meter of biogas per day. And 1 cubic meter of biogas is sufficient for a large family to cook and to heat bathing water. So for cooking and heating water, water for tea, whatever that family needs. So this system is basically for 1 family. Here it's connected to an office. What happens?
Sorry.
Yeah.
1 bucket of
Powder.
dung and 1 bucket of water.
Water. And you mix
How
it.
much?
Sorry? Produce 1 cubic meter.
1 cubic meter.
A cubic meter is 1 meter by 1 meter by 1 meter. So a cube, and all the sides are 1 meter long. It's slightly bigger than this cube here. Cubic meter.
So in other words, it's equal mixture of 1 full bucket and 1 full water.
Yes. And I asked somebody to collect a bucket of cow dung now. So maybe just before lunch break or shortly after, we can actually mix it and fill it, and then you can see how that works. That's also why we made a tap close to the digester, so that we don't need to carry buckets of water, because we can just take the water from the tap there. And so what we do is we go to a kraal, we collect 1 big bucket of cow dung, 20 kilograms, that's the more scientific approach, and 20 liter exactly. And then we have 3 buckets. We take half of the cow dung in 1 bucket, half of the cow dung in the other bucket, and the 3rd bucket with water. Then we add the water half-half to the buckets with cow dung, and we mix them by hand, and we pour it into the digester. That's the inlet. You can all see here, it's just a sewage pipe actually. Just a sewage pipe going down straight to the bottom of the biogas digester. And all you need to do is pour the bucket in here, and it flows down by itself. Then it stays in the container on average for 30 days, because the bacteria need 30 days to digest the cow dung and produce the gas. So if you fill your digester for the first time, you need to wait 1 month before the system starts producing gas. And then by adding each and every day cow dung, we make sure that the system continues producing each and every day gas. And after producing the gas, the bio-slurry, the mixture of cow dung and water, comes out at that side. There is a hole here which is slightly blocked at the moment. They took the spade, eh? Oh, we have the spade. So here is a hole where the cow dung comes out. Actually, now you can. This cow dung, why it's blocked like this, is because this is a bit too much cow dung and too little water. So it's very sticky. But it's supposed to come out flowing there. There the water is coming out. And that is all done by the natural pressure, so you don't need to do anything. It always comes out at this side.
Okay, so
He's asking the levels of the pipe. He is imagining that the pipe that from the inlet enters the dome higher and the pipe of the outlet is lower.
I can show it to you exactly inside. What really matters is that the connection between the dome and the outlet tank, at this side the opening needs to be a bit higher. And that has to do with releasing the gas when it's full. If that's not the highest point, then it will release the gas through the inlet. And the other thing is, you must just make sure that the outlet is always lower than the inlet, and that makes sure that that it comes out. It's about communicating barrels. If you have two barrels with water, and they're connected with an open, like a tube, an open space, then the water level in both barrels will always be at the same level, regardless how you start. And that's happening here. So what you will see is the cowling here is exactly at the